Okay, so how often should you work out over the age of 50? You guys know the answer, right? Hey guys, Mark McKillop with Live Anabolic, and today's topic is really going to be interesting and fun because it's so difficult to give you a perfect answer, and that is, how often should men over 50 work out? How many times have I been asked this question? Oh wow, so it depends. Man, I hate to cop out on you like that, but it really does. I work out 6 days a week. Sometimes actually more often than that. Now when I say workout, I'm talking about resistance training or weightlifting. Some days I'll do weightlifting and cardio on the same day, so I don't know, is that considered 2 workouts? Yeah, I think so. But I also have to listen to my body a lot because I can get run down and I'll have to just kind of back off and either cut back on the number of workouts for a week or 2, or sometimes I'll just take a whole week off if something is not feeling right. But back to just men in general over 50, and that is, let's just go through the different scenarios, okay, how often. First of all, you got the beginners. And when I say let's start with true beginners, guys who either have never exercised their whole life, or maybe they did when they were younger, but it's been 20 years. All right, so if it's been 20 years, it's the same thing as never having worked out, okay, in my book, okay, because your body is starting from scratch, right? It's been so long. So for you guys, I recommend working out 3 days a week. And I recommend you doing full body workouts where you hit all the muscle groups in your body, get some cardio going. I actually recommend doing circuit training for you guys, all right? So you don't do one exercise for 3 sets and then go to the next exercise for 3 sets. You do one exercise, then go to the next, then go to the next exercise, the next exercise, and then repeat, all right? But for you true beginners, all right, I don't want you to kill yourself because you'll get so sore that you're gonna quit. So what you do is you work out 3 days a week, and they're very mild workouts. I don't mean super easy, but you're not pushing yourself hard, okay? On a scale of 1 to 10, maybe it's a 6, all right? So that way your body gets a couple of days. Let's say you work out on Monday, then you get 2 days of rest, work out on Wednesday, 2 days of rest, Friday, and then 3 days of rest, you start back over on Monday. So true beginners, I would have you do that type of a workout plan 3 days a week for at least a month. Okay, maybe 2 months, all right? And then kind of adjust, see how you're feeling. For you guys that are just above beginner, all right, you've been working out on and off a little bit, you know, maybe it's been a couple of months, work out for a month, and you take a month off and just kind of hit and miss. You guys, your bodies are more used to it, okay? And I recommend you guys work out 4 days a week. And instead of doing full body 4 days, well, it's too often. All right, you'd be hitting every muscle group 4 days a week. It's just too often. You don't have enough rest in between for those muscles to fully recuperate. I would have you guys break it up into upper body twice a week and lower body twice a week. So upper body, lower body, take a day or 2 off, upper body, lower body, then take the weekend off. All right, that way you guys can push yourselves harder during each workout and still have enough rest. Because remember, let's say you work out your upper body on Monday and you work relatively hard. Instead of a 6 out of 10, let's say you're doing a 7 out of 10 or even an 8, okay? You're gonna get sore. You know, those muscles are gonna get sore, but the next day you're doing legs. So it doesn't matter that your chest and your triceps are sore, all right? You're just focusing on legs on Tuesday. And then Wednesday you take off completely, so your upper body's resting Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you hit upper body again on Thursday. And then you don't hit your legs again until Friday. So each muscle group gets at least 3 days of rest. And that's what's really important, is how much rest the muscle groups get, not necessarily you as a total, okay, package. And so when I'm working out 6 days a week, I'm real careful. I only work out these muscle groups once a week with the exception of legs, okay? So I'll work out legs twice a week. It's a big muscle group. For me personally, it's lagging. My legs aren't as big as my upper body. They're not proportional. And so But instead of working out my legs and killing them twice a week, I'll work quad-based legs one day, and then the second workout will be hamstring and glutes based. So anyway, that's we're getting kind of a lot more complex and sophisticated there, but so we got 2 groups that I've covered so far. True beginners, you guys really are starting from scratch 3 days a week. Okay, that's fairly often. You're working out every muscle group in your body, all right, but you're not pushing yourself real hard. That's the key, guys. All right, you're just basically waking your body up. Okay, you're getting your tendons, your ligaments, your muscles, your mind-muscle connection, your balance, your those proprioceptor cells. They're all kind of starting to wake back up and remember how to work again. All right, your coordination. That's all kind of coming together. You're learning the individual exercises and how to control the weight. All right, do that for a month or 2, then you can transition to the 4-day a week, and that is the step above the true beginners. All right, so we've covered basically the 2 types of beginners. All right, so I consider true beginners, and then kind of a step above. All right, guys that are still really early, but they have been working out a little bit here and there, kind of randomly, not consistently. All right, so now you got guys over 50 who I would consider are intermediate level. Okay, and it's not just weightlifting. These guys might be doing biking on a regular basis, rowing, swimming, jogging, running, whatever. But they still are getting and doing some kind of resistance training on a semi-regular basis. You guys are already hitting the gym a couple times a week, let's say, plus the cardio stuff. So I would consider you guys intermediate. All right, you guys can start pushing yourself harder. Your body is already, all right, doing athletic stuff on a regular basis, on a weekly basis. So I want you guys to work out 5 days a week. All right. Now, some of this stuff really has to do with your schedule, right? Some people are so busy, there's no way they're ever going to be able to stick to a workout routine that has them work out 5 days a week. But if you have the time, this is a great way to split it up. And this is how I did it forever before I started hitting my legs twice a week. And that is, I hit each muscle group once a week, and I break my body into 5 distinct muscle groups. All right, so you get your chest, you got shoulders, arms, back, and legs. That's Monday through Friday. And if you skip a day, then you just slide everything into the weekend. And that way, when you do your workouts, you know that your chest is going to get 7 days rest before you hit it again, right? That's a long time to recover, which means you can hit that muscle group much harder, all right, than all these beginners who are working the same muscle sometimes 2-3 times a week. So when you guys are picking basically your intensity level, all right, I want you guys to be pushing it a lot harder, all right, because remember, even though you're working out 5 days, each muscle group has got a long time, a full week to recover. So I want you guys doing, on a scale of 1 to 10, at least an 8. All right. When I say 8, I mean that's how hard you push yourself. And so, let's say you pick a weight and you're doing 10 reps. All right, that's what your workout calls for on these different exercises. I want you to get to that 10th rep, and I want you to not be at complete exhaustion, but I want you to be within 1 rep away from total failure. Meaning you could only get 11 reps, maybe 12 at the most if somebody was standing there with a gun to your head. So that's how hard you're going to have to start pushing yourself, you intermediates out there. And so it's fine. I mean, just because we're 50 doesn't mean we can't do stuff anymore. And it certainly doesn't mean we can't push ourselves hard, especially as we slowly get our bodies back into shape. But guys, there's people in their 70s climbing Mount Everest. There's people in 70s doing these full Ironman triathlons. I mean, think about that. 75 years old, they get in a lake and they swim 2.5 miles. Then after that, they get on a bicycle with no rest, bike 100 miles. And as soon as the bicycle is done, they run an entire 26-mile marathon. And these guys are in their 70s. So you guys life ain't over, all right? Now, it may take you a while to get there, right? And I don't mean triathlon level, but I mean just to an intermediate level. You beginners, you can get to an intermediate level in just a few months. I promise, you will be surprised. All right, so now we're kind of going through the whole gamut of different levels, and now let's say we're experienced. All right, so we've gotten 2 beginner levels, an intermediate level, and let's get up to experience. And I would consider myself experienced. So I'm 58 years old. And so I have no problem working out 6 days a week. If I'm killing myself at the gym, and every once in a while I get kind of highly motivated. And remember, motivation does this. I'm not up here all the time. I promise I get tired and run down, and I just don't give a damn. I don't want to go to the gym, all right? So I'm down here a lot of times. So, but when I'm up here, I use that period of time, and it may last for just a week. Sometimes it lasts for an entire month. And I take that added motivation that I just naturally feel, and I will really crank things up at the gym. So I will be doing almost every single set to failure. I don't care what the exercise is. I'm pushing it as hard as I can. I pick a weight that is so heavy that I can't do more than 8 reps or 12 reps or whatever I'm shooting for. And I mean, I'll get to 11 and then I can't even get to 12. All right, so that's how much intensity I put into it. And then to make it even tougher, I will add much more complex ways to lift the weights. I'll start doing drop sets or rest pause sets or supersets or giant sets, and these are all much more sophisticated ways to ramp up the intensity level. But guys, I may look good, but I promise I am not in Ironman shape by any stretch. My cardio is not all that great. All right, so I'm not some superhuman guy. I've just found a way to eat right, which is a huge part of this, guys. And I've found a way to motivate myself to be consistent. Remember, I always tell you guys, you got to stick with it. That is key. So over the years, and I've been doing this for 38 years now, I started when I was 20. I've just found a way to be consistent. Now, that doesn't mean I don't ever miss, right? But it means that I get back on the wagon. So every once in a while, I miss, and I miss not because I'm busy. I miss just because I don't want to go to the gym. I just don't feel like working out. Just to prove to you guys that I feel exactly like you do. All right, that I'm not this cyborg. Okay, I promise this has happened to me dozens of times over the year. I will put on my gym clothes at home, get in a car, drive all the way to the gym. Go to the gym, put my bag in the locker room, walk out into the gym, look around, go, screw this. I'm tired, I'm going home. Go back, get my bag, and drive all the way home. Don't lift a single weight. So, all right, so I get it. But I go back the next day and I get back on the wagon. So sometimes your body is just so tired, you're just not motivated, you just can't do it. But consistency is the key, guys. And I continue. I'm gonna keep doing this until the day I die. I am not going to give up just because I turn 65 or 70 or 75. Now, I may have to back off. My body may not allow me to go to the gym 6 days a week anymore. I may have to cut back to 4 or 5 days as I get older, but that doesn't matter. Still gonna go, right? I'm still gonna exercise. When I get injured, that's a whole nother thing. So let's talk about injuries. So how often do you work out over 50, and how does that correlate with injuries? Wow, that's a question I get emailed all the time from you guys. I mean, you wouldn't believe how many emails I get on this. And I have the same problem. So I feel like I'm constantly recovering from some type of an injury. I know it looks like I'm not injured, okay? But my back is hurting. I've got tendonitis in my bicep that is getting a lot better now, but I've had it for a year. And it kills me psychologically because I have to do this baby weights. I can't hardly curl hardly anything without it making it worse. And there's a whole technique that I've gone through to try to rehab, and I'm kind of figuring things out and learning. But I've got sore knees sometimes that are getting better now. You get sick. I mean, just because you're old and you're injured doesn't mean you're different. So I got young friends that I work out with all the time. Austin Sullivan, one of my good friends, he's a 28-year-old captain in the Marines. He was just here working out with me. He hurt his back. I mean, he hurt his back bad on leg day working out with me. And I'm sure that wasn't good for his ego. I mean, I'm 58 years old and I'm pushing as much weight as he is with his leg, and then all of a sudden he's bent over and he's walking around limping in pain doing the same exercise I was doing, and he wasn't using any more weight. I was using the same amount of weight and I was doing just as many reps. So I know lots of young guys that are super fit, in great shape. These guys are jacked and they get hurt all the time. So consistency is the key, guys. And yeah, we're in our 50s, our 60s, our 70s, and there's some things you just won't be able to do. And that's another thing I get tons of emails with. Hey Mark, I had surgery on my knee, my shoulder, it's been that way for 20 years, what do I do? And I will give them some ideas. Basically, you could do a lot of the same exercises, but just limit your range of motion. You're just gonna have to listen to your body. As we get older, we just gotta get a little wiser and smarter about all this stuff. So sometimes it is, these guys will tell me, Mark, I love doing squats. I mean, I would love to do squats, but my knees hurt. When I go all the way down real deep, get my ass to the grass, it's just, I can't get back up. My knees are killing me. Don't go all the way down. Just do little half range of motion squats or half range of motion lunges. Or don't do a military press because your shoulders hurt. Do lateral dumbbell raises instead. You're still working your shoulders, but you're not working your shoulder joint through the range of motion that hurts. So guys, just because we're over 50 doesn't mean you can't be smart about it and find ways around our injuries, because we're all going to get injured. Even these young studs, that are in fantastic shape and are just look incredible. I promise, I follow a lot of them on Instagram, and they're constantly having to sit out for months because they lifted too damn much weight trying to show off for all the other guys and girls at the gym. Okay, so how often should you work out over the age of 50? You guys know the answer, right? Hopefully you watch this entire video. It depends. It depends on where you are, okay, in all those different levels, from beginner to expert. It depends on what kind of condition your body's in. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish and how fast you're trying to accomplish it. But the main thing is, guys, you can do it. I swear. No matter how out of shape you are. No matter how many pounds, and I trust me, I've worked with guys who need to lose 100 pounds. It doesn't matter. They start, and guess what? A year later, these guys are just rocking. Okay, they didn't get there overnight, but they were consistent. So, over 50, you can work out. I would say a minimum of 3 times a week, and that is, I'm talking about resistance training. You guys who are beginning and lifting weights 3 times a week, you can still throw in some light cardio another 2 times a week. So that would actually be 5 days a week that you're actually exercising. 3 would be weight training, and 2 would just be some type of light cardio. Same thing goes with you intermediate guys. When I'm talking about working out over the age of 50, typically I'm talking about strength training, because your muscles, when you're pushing them really hard, lifting weights, you do damage your muscle fibers. That's the whole point of lifting. We want to create tears in our muscle fibers. That's why your body repairs them bigger and stronger, and then we add muscle. When it comes to cardio, it's a whole different ballgame. So you can do cardio far more often, especially steady state cardio. So that's real low impact stuff. You can do that far more often because you're not damaging your muscle fibers. Now, for you guys that want to do high intensity interval training, that's an anaerobic cardio. You guys, you can't do that every day of the week, all right? It's just too strenuous. But you can do that a couple times a week in addition to your weightlifting program. So, man, it really depends on where you are in this layered pyramid, okay, of competency. And, the pyramid's real big at the bottom with all the beginners, and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller until at the top you get the guys who are in fantastic shape. They're experts, they're really killing it, and so they have far more options. But guys, You've heard me say this before, right? It's not how many times you work out. It's about consistency, which means you have to stick with it and never give up on yourself.